How's it guys? Today we're going to rebuild a fork for a 2006 YZ125. So we actually repaired the outer stanchion. We had it re-anodized. It wasn't damaged, it just didn't look so nice, so we gave it a nice coat of anodizing. It's looking a lot better. So anyway, we are going to reassemble this. First thing you would probably need to do if you were putting new seals, so I've left the seal, I've already put the seal on here, but dust cover, clip, fork seal. After the fork seal you have this aluminium washer. It's got 4 teeth on the one side and on the other side it's open end, if that makes sense, and the open end must face the fork seal. So see the way I'm sliding it on there, fork seal. Okay. Next we have the bush that is going to get knocked into the outer stanchion. Here is the bush. Sometimes you must look on the inside of this bush for wear. If it's got wear, then get it replaced, because you don't want your forks getting too much play backwards and forwards because of wear on this bush. Okay, slide that on. And guys, when you're putting seals on, try maybe put a little bit of tape around these sharp edges if you're putting a new fork seal on, because you will damage your fork seal trying to slide it over this edge without any tape or a bullet protecting it. But as I said, we only need to do that now because mine were already on there. Okay, and then this is your inner bush. This one slides onto the steel stanchion, which slides on the inside of your aluminium stanchion. So the other one hooks in to your aluminium stanchion, and this one hooks onto your steel stanchion. Okay, into that same groove. Okay. Then the next thing we will need is our outer. Here's my outer. Okay, we slide that on. I'm working a bit funny because of the angle of the camera, but yeah, trying to make it easier for you guys to see. Yeah. So now you're going to need your fork driver. If you don't have that, and if you don't have fork drivers and you really need to do this job on your own, you can use an aluminium drift, we call them, or like an aluminium punch, and you can knock these bushes in slowly, but you need to flatten out the punch so that it fits into this groove. I mean, I don't recommend it, but yeah, it does work. So then what we'll do is we'll slide the first bush in, slide the aluminium washer, and then we take our tool like this, and we knock them into our outer stanchion. I don't know if you heard, the sound has changed. That means that the bush is all the way down. One thing that you guys must do, which I have forgotten already, is put a little bit of oil or multi-purpose spray on the inside of the stanchion, just so, and on the seal, just so that it goes in a little bit easier. I find sometimes, especially on the seal, it binds inside the aluminium stanchion when you knock it in, and then you end up having like, okay, once you've got your seal nice and oiled up, ready to go in, get your fork driver once again, fork seal driver I should say, and drive your seal. I don't know if you heard that, but the first 2 knocks were hollow, and then the last 2 were solid, which means I'm down. And once you've got that down, get rid of your fork driver. I'm going to turn this around. Well, just hopefully you guys can see this. Have a look. Can you see?
Yeah.
Inside, yeah? Okay, you'll see, once the seal's in there, you'll see a little groove. So you take your clip and you slide your clip in, like that. Once you've got your clip in with your fingers, just get yourself a screwdriver. Can we still see? and then you just push your clip. You can actually hear it when it seats. Clip. Oopsie, dropped our spring. Okay, clips in place. Then next, dust seal. You can use your fork driver to drive the seal home if you really want to, but if you feel like pushing it or doing whatever you need to do. And my fork driver is actually not fitting to lacquer, but it's in. Okay. You can just take a rubber mallet and knock around the edges, but as you can see, it went down. It feels a little bit dirty. Okay. Now we're going back into the vase, actually the same way we had it, because now our seal is in. Now we are going to, first things first, we're going to assemble. Okay, this is our inner cartridge. Now there is oil inside this, but we are not going to, we're not going to get involved with it, because as I said, we're just doing the outer stanchions. We're not really going to completely rebuild these forks. But yeah, if they're not leaking and you give them a push, a pump, you can see I'm pushing it all the way up, let it go. If it returns, then it's pretty much doing its job. So yeah, maybe the oil can be replaced in here. But yeah, I'm going to assemble it first and test the bike, and if I'm happy with it, then yeah, we're leaving it like that. Okay, then we have our bush, or whatever you call it, that holds down our spring. Here we see. Okay, sliding that on. Then we have our spring. Like that. Okay, you can see our rebound rod's actually sticking out the front like that. So now what we'll do is we're going to flip this around and we're going to slide it into the stanchion. You also have your rebound. So here's your rebound adjuster for the bottom. Your rebound adjuster for the bottom. It has a rod that goes on the inside of the rebound rod like this. I like to put it in afterwards. Not put that little bit, we'll put it in now. So that just slides in there like that. Okay, and that basically what it does is, as you adjust your rebound setting on this screw, it'll push on that rod and it'll push on your shim stack. So yeah, get that on like that, flip it around. Might not see too clearly. Slide it in all the way down until it comes out the other side. I'm just looking for it. Okay. I'm just going to screw it into my fork a little bit here. Okay. Just pause. Okay, now with a lot of force, you're going to push your spring down until you see my rod coming out. Mm-hmm. Push it down until you can get your tool on the end. Don't ask me what this plastic tool is called, but if you don't have one, you can just use a spanner just to hold it out while you put your bottom nut on. Also give your bottom nut a little bit of oil on the O-ring, maybe just a little bit on the thread, even the inner thread as well, the one that screws onto the rebound rod. You can see my little pin that I was telling you guys about earlier that pushes on your shim stack. When you screw this thing down, you see it covers up the pin. Okay, wait, first thing before we do that, hold on. Otherwise, I might not get it. Take your adjuster and just screw it all the way out till at its last click. And these things are very delicate, so can you see it? So don't force them, just get them all the way out. Look, you can see I've got like a quarter turn and then it stops. That's all the way out. Okay, now you screw it on, and you don't want to force it, you want to screw it down until it touches that rod which pushes on the shrimp stack. Okay, there, it stopped. Finger tight. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a spanner in the end. It's a 17 on there. Okay, and as far as I know it's a 14 or 15 on here. Yeah, I thought it was a 15. And a 15 on there. Then there we go. And as you see, I'm screwing it back towards the end nut. Now you don't want to screw the nut, the one with the 17, up to the lock nut. You want to actually screw the lock nut down to it. You see? Then we just nip this up. I mean, there will be a torque setting on this. Refer back to your manual if you want to get the correct torque setting. Okay, once that's done, I can actually just show you guys quickly. If we push on this, the tool should just fall out. But if you had a spanner, it would be just like that. Some guys don't like to use a spanner because they worry that it might hurt the material. That's why these are plastic, but definitely does the job. Okay, like that. Go back to your 17 and we screw that back in. Let's just get ourselves a ratchet here, make our lives a little bit quicker. I actually went back at your neck because it felt a little bit tight at first, but now you can see it's going nice and easy. 17 socket on my 3/8 ratchet. All the way down until it hits. I won't be talking it in this video, but again, go back to your manual. Check your torque settings. Okay, there we go. Then our fork comes out. Now we're going to turn our fork up. Like this. I'm going to tighten it back in my vise. Another thing is, if you notice on my vise, you see these green jaws. They're rubber. So I can grab on aluminium and steel parts and without worrying about damaging them. But you need to be careful. With a vise with steel jaws, you will break something and destroy something. Here's our fork well. Got some motor fork well, 5 weight. Don't know how much it takes, but we will quickly find those measurements and we will fill it up. And unfortunately, I lost the last piece of my video with regards to filling up the fork leg with oil. So I did a bit of research and I see that some guys run 310 cc's or 310 milliliters, and some guys run all the way up to 350 milliliters or 350 cc's in the outer fork of the YZ125. So I went with 350, so my bottle has measurements on it. The motor bottles come with measurements, so you just measure out 350, and then I won't be pouring it in yet because it's just a demonstration. You will pour it in the outer tube, 350 mils. Once you've done that, take your fork leg up, screw it into the top like that, and after you've done that, get your spanner
your fork spanner, or you could use a big shifting spanner and then just tighten up the top nut onto the O-ring by hand. Once it gets tight, you just nip it up. You don't really have to tighten it very tight, because your fork, the triple clamp, will pinch up on you, and there's no way that your fork cap will come loose once your triple clamp's tightened up. And yeah, that's it. Then you can put it into the bike after that.